Welcome you back to the Trainworld City Steelworks. It's 14th of September. It's about 4 o'clock. A little more about what I'm trying to do here. Like I said, if I had an indoor layout, this would be a heck of a lot easier. It's incredibly hard. I don't think anybody realizes just how hard this is to set up an HO scale railroad outside. Even though it doesn't work, it's not functioning, it's still incredibly difficult to do this with this kind of detail. And I wish I could detail it more, but with the with the constraints of weather and time and everything it takes to put something up, there's only so much you can do. And so I apologize for not being totally precise with everything I'd like to do, but it's best I can do. One of those instances is the open hearth. If you look close enough at the open hearth, obviously the roof is misaligned, and that's my fault because this building was bought secondhand. Actually, I bought two of them and put them together, and they didn't match up, so it threw all the alignments off of everything. And so this building is really, it's horribly aligned. But on top of it, if you look closer, you'll see nuts and bolts that are sitting there that are actually, they're weights holding the smokestacks down, because as it sits outside, the wind will knock these things over. And it's not something I want to have on top. It's something I'm eventually going to put underneath and weigh it down with some metal plates, so that, and it'll be attached to the building. The reason why it's not attached right now is because the roof had to be readjusted, and I didn't want the smokestacks there to interfere with that. So there's some things to be done. Again, this other wall, you can see where there's duct tape holding on this other wall. There's going to be some latches on that wall, so you can pull that wall aside. And when you do, let me just kind of show you. When you pull that wall aside, let me just do this here. You'll see that there's an interior of the tapping side and inside the open hearth itself. Oh crap, I'm trying to get in here, but so there's detail to be seen, and if I ever to take this somewhere, I do want that to be seen. Like, there's the mixer, and there's the charging floor, and there's some catwalks, and most of the tapping side isn't quite done yet. But that's the reason why I'm having a problem with this roof. So if you see it in photos and it looks like it's sagging, and it looks like I apologize for that, but it's tough shit. It's one of the things that happens in the model world when things don't go your way. The coke plant, for the most part, is done. There's some details I'm putting on, like railings and some gas lines and things like that. Again, there's not a lot I can do to that I wish I could, because it is outside. If this was a permanent structure, I'd have gas lines running all over the place, and blast furnace main lines running to the thing. And there's a lot of stuff I wish I could do, but I just simply can't. The conveyors always look like they're a mess. Sometimes they fall down because I can't. Again, this is not a precise measurement, so you put down one building, you put down the next one. You'd be out here all day trying to measure putting these things down from place to place. At one point I had little nail markers or toothpick markers, and kids would come out here and they'd step on them, they'd run out here, and the thing, they don't run out here on the layout anymore, which, thank God for that. There's just too much money and time invested in this to have them run out here, so I've got them trained well. Again, with the Duluth Works, this is not a precise model. This particular structure here, which is obviously just a Tyco U.S. steel crane, it wouldn't have been located here. It would have been located actually further south, further to the bottom of this video, and it was used to crack up the skull slag on some of the hot metal cars. But the pig caster that is sitting right behind it would have been fairly close in this location, and the lab right next to it, which looks like a train depot. Try to zoom in here a little bit. Both of those are fairly close. They're very close to where they would have been. This structure here wasn't exactly part of the Duluth Works. It's just a generic coal mine thing, but it was there actually because it was There was a structure at Duluth that filled the steam engines with coal, and is derived from the same facilities that pumped the coke ovens with coal. So I mean, it's the reason why it's there. It's not the exact same model. It's just there to be somewhat close in relativity. That's obviously Dean's model for the Walthers kit for the quenching station. That wasn't correct for Duluth either. It had a very unique look that a few mills used, but eventually I want to scratch build that. For now, that's just where it is. This was a ladle repair house. From what I understand at Duluth, it was inside the open hearth near this location. It wasn't actually here. But I bought this little model for next to nothing. I wanted to model it where I could create a ladle repair house. Actually, I don't have the crane in it right now. If I did, I would lift the roof off and you'd see the crane in it. But right now, I think it's just oh crap, I can't get it. There we go. I think right now it's just who knows, crap. I believe the crane is inside. Yeah, see, it's just the gantry inside here. Maybe some of the glue is melting together. There we go. Yeah, it's just the gantry inside, and this is still work in progress too. You can see some of the roof got stuck. I bought this for $1 at a rummage sale. The windows were glued on wrong, the doors were glued on wrong, and they still are. It's something I'd like to rectify. I just want to modify it so I can put some beams or something around the windows to make it look different. As we move around the mill a little bit, these buildings here are the rolling mills and the soaking pits and the furnaces and things of reheating furnaces. These are all right now empty. But eventually they will be modeled and they'll have base bottoms put in them so that I could take these to the steel modeling conference in the future or transport them anywhere I wish, and they'll have working interiors much like the open hearth has. Right now they're just empty. They're very undetailed. They're just empty shells, and they're there to fit a purpose to make it look like these are the rolling mill sides of the steel mill. The blast furnace, like I said, is work in progress, and it's been lacking. These materials yard and the ore bridge cranes, they're starting to come along now. I finally got the cranes themselves, locomotive cabs the cabs in operating shape. So there's some things to work on there. The ore boat is small, it's scratch built. Eventually I'm going to build a few more scratch built boats. They'll look a little one will be a battle cruiser, one will be a coal boat or a limestone concrete boat, something like that. So they don't all, I don't just have one ore boat. I can switch them out. I had fun building this, and it's not done yet, but I really did have a joy building this. These are, let's see, what else we got? Like I said, I apologize for stepping around and seeing my shadow. I did try to add some auxiliary buildings at the steel mill. This building right here is actually, it's a pretty close replica of what they call the Hine Boiler House, number 3 at Duluth. It was a building I bought for next to nothing. I saw it on eBay or some other auction, and it just fit the bill. And if you ever look up any pictures, you'll see just exactly how close it was. This building in the middle is it's another Walthers 2-bay shed, but right now it's filling the role of the powerhouse. Eventually, this building will be modified where it'll look like the Duluth powerhouse. It's fairly much in the same location. Water tower, and there's another boiler house there with the other 5 stacks. They're a little taller than I would have liked them because the building that I modeled was smaller, but I had to have the stacks try to match up with the rest of the open hearth stacks and the other boiler house, and that's the reason why they're a little taller than I would have cared to have them. Again, there's conveyor work. There's things that I would like to... if I had an indoor layout, it wouldn't look quite this haphazard, but I got to do what I can with what I got. There's some cling metal cars there. There's some bottle cars down in here. Duluth never had any bottle cars, so these are just they're there. I got them cheap, whatever. Anyway, and then there's the city and the rail yard. The rail yard, which feeds both the city and kind of the steel mill. And like I said, these are just Tyco engine sheds. This model here of the ore boat, it's almost done. It's got some things that need to be done to it, but it's designed to be just a small boat that fits my layout. It's not designed to be a fully functional 2-scale HO ore boat. It's designed just to fit this layout, and that's all. So if it's out of scale, I apologize, but I really don't. So that is the Trainworld City Steelworks as of right now. This area next to the blast furnace to the left of what you're seeing, that'll eventually be another blast furnace. That'll be a Walther's blast furnace that I've purchased, and I just haven't had time to set it all up and put it there. But that's why that space is empty. And in between there and boiler house, there'll be pipe work and all kinds of ducting and things. So there you have it. It is a tour of the Trainworld City Steelworks. And thanks for visiting.